All right, welcome everyone to the Irish podcast. Weekend mid-season awards here. Specs. Just kind of wanted to go over a couple things. Saw some things on Twitter. I'm sure. After this, little segment we have here, I'm going to be stepping away tonight. In light of recent events, kind of went a little too hard on some people, and across the line. And it's something that we really didn't plan on doing, and causing way too much hate for, myself and, the other people on the podcast here. It's just a little unfair for what was kind of happening. And, at the end of the day, this community is really here for some positivity. And, I was taken away from that. So really want to apologize to anyone I took it over the line with. And it's something, really didn't want to do. It's just unfortunate, and it's probably best that I just step away for a little bit, and see how the things the podcast goes, and with Thug back now too, it's he's here for everyone. So just really want to thank everyone for tuning in, and all the support we've been getting, and just really appreciate it here.
It's I was really excited to come back to the podcast, and it's been 8 weeks, and I'm excited to get back, get with the spice, join in on it. It's frustrating. It's really frustrating as a community leader to get targeted like that. And we're not always going to say things that are super nice about people, but we're not trying to make you feel bad. Like, come on, people, we're not trying to make you feel bad. This is disappointed dad now. Like, guys, we're so much better than this. So much better than this. Please, can we grow up for a hot minute and just stop taking things so personally? It sucks. Like, I come back on to get with Specs, hit the NPC, Nick, Yeti, get the boys back together, and then I'm jacked up, I'm all ramped up, ready to go, and then Specs drops that bomb on us, and I just pisses me off. Specs, I love you, buddy. From me to you, you're still a badass.
Thank you.
I did bring something for you. I want you to hit us with another easy clap. Please, one more time. One more easy clap for the boys.
Mitch learned how to play Lucio, but he can't do it at all. Just terrible. Cool Sam, horrible diva. Dude, Courage has to carry you, and Courage can't even play Overwatch at this point. Cannot carry a team. And did you guys think I was actually leaving?
You thought he was leaving? Nah, you got all debated. Let's roll that intro.
Experience tranquility.
Welcome, everyone, to the Iris podcast. The full squad is here for the first time this season. My name is S3E8. Joining me today, we have Specs, we have NPC. Far to my left here is Nixall, and then joining us for the first time this season is the Harmony tier director and GM of DDoS, Fuckington. Welcome.
Hello.
Been a long time.
Oh my God, has it been a long time? I missed you boys.
It's good to have you back, man.
So much.
Guys, let's face it, there's been a lot of drama this week. We know it. We've been seeing it. Hell, I've been the target of a lot of it. But you know what? Here's the thing for me. Like, all this drama aside, it is what it is, guys. It got to me a little bit, but at the same time, I remember why I got involved in this community. I wanted a place where I could play Overwatch with a group of people who really enjoy this game, who are in it for each other. And I know Tranquility still is that. Now, unfortunately, there's been a lot of people dishing out way too many hot takes that are borderline toxic. Honestly, there's a lot of egos going on right now. And guys, that's not what Tranquility is all about.
Nah.
Look at the five of us. We don't do this because we have giant egos or we want to shit on people all day or we want to act like we're more important than any of you. We do this because we love this community and what it stands for. This is gaming at its finest. Maybe not at its skill, but at pure fun level, this is why we play games, not just to a core. So just remember, Tranquility is not about egos. It's not about drama. It's not about hot takes. It's not about spice. It's not about the Iris podcast, and it's not about us. It's about you guys. And that's why we do what we do. Don't you forget that. So that being said, we're going to dive right into the Iris podcast for the day, folks. We're going to move on first to the feature match from Tuesday, which is the Potatoes versus Vitamin C. And that is going to be taken care of by Thug. First match recap of the season.
Oh, yes. Lovely. It was a tough 4-0. Fighting Potatoes went into it shorthanded. Probably two of their, I don't want to say best players, but better players. Two of the newer players to the team this season. A 4-0 started off. I was so excited watching this match, seeing it go 2-1 and a control map, and it was close. It was really contested. It was really, it was fun for me to watch. And then everything else happened. And Vitamin C, I don't know if he woke up a sleeping giant, but dude, Polar absolutely exploded on Farah all over their entire team. It was ridiculous. Polar did a really great job. Creepy trolls as well. Symmetra. I mean, if she's not overpowered, I don't know what to say about it. But he held left click and ran right through him. Not to discount anything that Potatoes did from a completely analytic standpoint. I'm looking at Vitamin C, realizing that Mousie's probably the best Junkrat in the league, but she's the best Junkrat in the league. And
Community.
So shit. It's been so long.
Wee whoop.
Well, see you later, boys. I'm out of here.
Yeah, banned.
No, but it's they did their scouting. They did their scouting report on it, knew that Affair would absolutely devastate them, and it did. Polar just ran roughshod on them. Big plays by everyone on the team, though. There's still a lot of really solid development happening within that team. And I know somebody that's followed them since season 1, seeing the team kind of get better every game. Man, it makes my heart great. They're all great people, and I'm super excited to see them in October. So 4-0 Vitamin C, but as we like to say on the Irish podcast, it was a close 4-0.
All right. Now, the Sunday feature was going to be recapped tonight. Unfortunately, we had some issues because Twitch was having some problems, and we weren't able to air the cast live. We do have it recorded. We were planning on airing it tonight after the podcast. Unfortunately, due to some technical issues, we cannot play that tonight. We are going to find the best possible time and the soonest possible time to play this match, and I am sincerely apologetic to the people who were looking forward to watching this, and especially One Last Ride and Meteors. Guys, when that match does air, please watch it. I had an opportunity to take a look at the VOD, and it is legitimately some of the best Overwatch that I have seen in this community since I started here in Season 1. Please watch this match. It is incredible. So that being said, we're going to go ahead and just take a quick look at the scoreboards for the week. Again, we have the Meteors and One Last Ride not released yet. Vitamin C did take the 4-0 over the Fighting Potatoes. Taking a look at the scoreboard then in the Discord tier, we had Instalock getting the forfeit victory over the Aimbots. Renovadio takes a 3-1 over Infius Gaming. Harmony and Chaos takes the 4-0 win over the Frantic Lava Buys. Tough Luck with a 3-1 win over Otaku. Commit takes a 4-0 victory over Sugar Rush. Alt F4 with a 4-0 over Eclipse. Prodigious 4-0 over Invictus. Then taking a look at the next tier here. Oh, by the way, Specs was wrong. Harmony tier is Boop picking up the first win of the season, 4-0 over Spare Change. Hairless Pandas with a 2-1 victory over Maelstrom, handing Maelstrom their first loss of the season. Illusion takes a close 3-2 victory over the Undead Battery. Minty Hippos fall 4-0 to Karma. Comets also fall 4-0 to DDoS. Holy Jalapenos take the 3-1 victory over the Pacified Pythons. And last but not least, Jetpack Cats take the 4-0 bye victory over Overtime Game. Guys, it was an interesting week. We definitely saw some upsets. I think definitely we can all agree on that.
Yeah.
What were some things you took from the week?
Something I want to talk about is Boop, right? I got the shirt. All right, getting a win this week. Getting a win this week. It was huge for them. They've been playing through some losses as a team. They reformed and then they reformed again and reformed again. They made some minor tweaks to their roster, but they played through the losses to build strength as a team, and it helped them get the win. They've got some great players now: Alayla, Shadowfang, Bard, Whittle. Spare Chain's got a good win last week against the Jetpack Cats. They proved that they're not a slouch, and that makes Boop's victory all that more valid because they didn't just roll over a pushover team.
Right.
This is a team that actually has something going for them as well. They've got a bye week this week, and they've got to prepare for their biggest challenge, Maelstrom, week after. It's a big one.
Big challenges there. Anybody else? Thoughts on the week?
Yeah, for me, I'm gonna stick on the Harmony side as well. Pythons have had a revolving door as a roster. I know firsthand about it, but big up to Frosty, man. You took an L and nobody left. You added somebody, dude. That's a massive statement to your leadership. So I'm just gonna personally shout out Frosty. Great job, really bring the group together, and good on the Pythons for sticking through it, learning that it's not just gonna be something you're gonna have to. And then all of a sudden, oh yeah, we win. It happens sometimes, but it's a marathon, man, not a sprint. So good on Frosty, good on the Pythons. Way to stick together as a team as you should through the losses and the wins. So
I said the same thing last week. I absolutely agree.
Yeah,
it's big time, man.
Switch it over to the Discord tier, and teams wearing shirts.
Yeah, you guys played great, by the way.
Of course we did. We always do. In serious note, what I really, not necessarily from the matches, what I took from this week is just the rebuilding that some teams are going through.
Mm-hmm.
Teams are picking up some important players, some key players, and really interested to see. We have still half the season left at this point.
Right.
Seeing what those teams can do and how they can change, the course of their season at this point. So I'm really looking at Aimbots and Invictus with those two. But again, interested in that, and to be honest, DDoS surprised me for sure.
Yeah, I think my biggest takeaway was, as we mentioned, or as NPC mentioned, Boop. I'm really happy for them. Illusion's been kind of helping them scrim, prepare, do whatever we can to kind of help them get on track. I'm so happy for that whole squad. They've been through a lot. Another thing for me that I wanted to mention was the Karma versus Mini Hippo gaze. I was expecting the scoreline to be a little bit closer. I wasn't expecting him to be a 4-0 like that. Karma's coming back in force, definitely showing that they don't deserve to be 6th in the power rankings.
God, look at Yeti. You're so smug right there with that little wry smile.
I'm just saying somebody last week ranked us 10th and I was a little bitter.
Okay.
Dang, bitter. We should have been ranked 12th. But no, really, I think one of the biggest things for me is gotta be for me seeing the free agent acquisitions here from Invictus.
For sure.
Falcon is going to be the biggest pickup of the season. Falcon is a dominant main tank. Absolutely, he's been playing Pugs a lot and is absolutely a force in Pugs. And I mean, no small potatoes with Melts. I'm not saying that Melts is, he just hit Masters. I give the kid some credit here. At the same time, like Falcon having an incredible main tank makes your team. And we've already seen how good Booth is on off tank. Put Booth and Falcon next to each other. That is a scary, scary tank line. Now, I do think Invictus could do more to help out some of their hero pool issues with their DPS. Losing Bubbles hurt them a lot. I think Melts brings a little bit back to that team, but at the same time, I also get concerned about Melts' hero pool. So I think Invictus still has some work to do to get to where they could be, but honestly, with these two moves, they position themselves right solidly in that just below one last ride Meteors commit tier. Position themselves right in there with tough luck. So I know Spec says Invictus, but we'll see.
All right, if we're still going to be talking about Discord tier, I got to mention one other team. Okay, that's Eclipse. Okay, you guys had your chance to get your first legitimate win, okay, against Alt F4, and you blew it. Okay, Boop got a win before you guys. That says a lot, okay? And I know what your problem is. There's 2 words. You ready? It's Mighty Bear. Okay? I don't know how he managed to do it, all right? But Cryptic Force managed to feed on Orisa. Okay? his manager at McDonald's saw the VOD and made him employee of the month because he's so good at feeding horse meat. Okay, you need to bring that guy in. Okay, put him on a deeper jail than Orissa jail.
Oh god.
Okay, I'm just saying. Somehow he managed to feed.
Oh,
I don't know. Dimtree called me and he says, NPC, I know you're like 2,500, but we're gonna need you over here because we're just not cutting it. I mean, I press shift a lot, but I don't know how he managed to do it.
You hate to see it.
You hate to see
Yeah,
it.
I hate to see it.
You hate to see that.
The
Man.
best part is he's in a scrim right now, not watching this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
God.
he's gonna watch this VOD later.
Please tune in right after the Iris podcast. We'll have a memoriam for Cryptic Force. He just got murdered.
911, I would like to report on murder.
NPC might want to go hide.
Yeah.
Lay low for a little bit.
Yeah. All right. So that's enough of the takes for this week's, guys. We're going to take a quick look at some of the plays that made week 7 such a great week. Enjoy this montage. Montage as my voice cracks again. All right. Thanks, everyone, for submitting those clips. I definitely appreciate it. It's a lot of fun putting those clips together. And by the way, can I just say, legitimately one of the biggest brain plays I've ever seen from the Mallard on Anubis there is that ice wall.
That was huge.
Actually nutty.
actually genius. Like,
Nerf Mallard.
seriously, I don't know what they did to ducks these days. Must be one of those 3 Mile Island ducks.
Yeti,
GMO,
just so
yeah.
you know, duck hunting season opens on Saturday in
No,
Minnesota.
it's
so
wabbit
just
season.
saying, bro.
All right. Anyways, moving on. All right, moving on now to the power rankings, boys. Let's go now to the Discord tier. Taking a look first, we have Commit sitting at the top. Meteors in One Last Ride at number 2 and 3. Tough Luck number 4. Renovadio number 5. Instalock 6. Prodigious 7. Invictus 8th. Aimbots 9th. And Sugar Rush 10th. Guys, interested to hear what you think of power ranking.
I'm not sure how Invictus is so high,
Same.
and that's my own org.
I think it's based on potential. I mean, power rankings are all about potential.
Mike,
And
That's what I was gonna say. I think a lot of it went into the pickups, and I'm not like other than that, I don't see how they're so high. Right?
I think one of the most interesting things in my book, Aimbots has had a fall from grace beyond that of a normal. Like, it's not gone well for them. They've lost their main tank. Pastry also, I believe, on a leave of absence. You know, they're making some pickups, but at the same time, like, haven't seen them prove themselves at all yet. We're ranking them above teams like Sugar Rush. That doesn't seem right to me. I know there's some really talented players on that Aimbots roster, but you can't even call them a top team right now. So that's just my take on that. I think a lot of that's respect in the name, and there should be respect in the name. Really good talent on that. But for me, I think it's Aimbots even being on there. Low key, I think the team that needs to be on this list that isn't in Discord tier right now, I think we need to start talking, because of the acquisition of Koga, we need to start talking about Alta 4 in a more positive way. No, Specs doesn't like that.
No, we don't.
No.
It just doesn't have to happen.
Well, then let's hear from you, Specs. What's your take on the Discord power rank?
I get how we're sixth. I mean, of course, I'm going to go after that right away. I get that, but that's a little shocking to me. And then, like you said, with Aimbots, they're very high. I mean, granted, we can't feel the roster right now either, but I don't know why they're there, and I don't know why Alt F4 is there, unfortunately. But
What do you? Any other takes from you guys on the Discord tier?
Okay, so Instalock, you're pissed about Instalock being where they are. You have 5 people on your roster, bro. How can I rank you? You can't field the team. You can't field the team. How can I rank you higher, dude? I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Like, potential, blah blah. Who the hell do you have as your pickup? We have no idea. I have to go on 5 people and a hard Lucio, plus a bot.
I mean, I'm a.
I mean, no, that's kind
Are
of
you
where
trying to get Specs to leave the podcast again?
No, I think, but I look at it, and it's hard to really rank your team because
Agreed.
Prior to the loss, it's like, yeah, that they're on the rise, but fuck, man, it's so hard for me to rank you guys any higher because I don't know. I just straight up don't know.
Right. And I mean, I don't know the result of the of the One Last Ride Meteors match, but that just matters so much at the end of the day. I'm so excited to see that.
Yeah, you're not wrong, bro.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts on the Discord tier? All right. Take it up to the Harmony tier now. Harmony tier, we got Vitamin C in number 1 after Maelstrom falls. Maelstrom goes down to number 2 with their first loss. Karma rises up to number 3. Illusion in 4th. Minty Hippos in 5th. Holy Jalapenos in 6th. Careless Pandas 7th. Jetpack Cats 8th. Undead Battery 9th. And DDoS back in the top 10, 10th.
Are you guys just trying to be nice to me because I'm back? Like, what the hell? I'm not going to ban anybody.
Oh, I haven't even begun to say what I was going to say yet.
Oh, God.
No. I see this. I think Karma's a little overrated. I don't. I mean, you guys are good, but I mean, Illusion, Hippos, Pandas, Jalapenos. I'm not gonna put you at the bottom or anything, Yeti, but I mean, those teams are all pretty tough, and it's all neck and neck up in there. I just think third is you're overshooting.
Yeah, I was all aboard the Minty Hippos hype train there, but them in 5th. Okay.
Yeah, I don't
Questionable.
I don't know how they got beat out. I don't know how that Pandas got beat out by Minty Hippos for top 5. Like,
Or Jalapenos. even.
Pandas just beat Maelstrom, who's been dominant all season.
Yeah. See, I look at it with Pandas. I mean, with the loss of Dim Ryan, brother, Again, it's so hard to rank these teams with when one of their best players is no longer on the roster.
Yeah. I think
How do you know what that team is, man? It's like you take, oh, dude, the Patriots are the greatest team in the world. Cool, Tom Brady just got hurt. I hope he does get hurt, Cryptic. Tom Brady just got hurt. And the team's garbage. All of a sudden, they're like number 1 to like, okay, maybe 10. Like, that's an instant drop. You don't know what's going to happen, but that's the point of it.
But I think there's a lot of questions regarding what's going to happen with Tim Ryan out. Like,
Right.
You got to figure that hurts the Pandas, but they still have really talented players on that team. Man, they still have Hosoi, they still have Yeti, obviously. Like, there's still a lot, and Bebop. Like, there's a lot of good players on that team, guys. There's no reason to write off the Careless Pandas now. That being said, I actually think Karma's a little overrated on there right now. I think Illusion should be higher than us right now. I honestly think the Jalapenos deserve some thought at being over us as well. I think recency on us beating the Minty Hippos, which, by the way, honestly, I don't read a whole lot into us beating Mini Hippos 4-0 because Mini Hippos lost their off tank, who was one of their team leaders after map 2. And before he left, we were scraping by the skin of our teeth. Like, it was extremely close. The Minty Hippos are incredible. So I do think that there's definitely that clear, like, second tier right now in Harmony. There's a lot of shuffling going on. And also Maelstrom now just announced the loss of Ruru. Oh, you gotta think that's gonna hurt Maelstrom here too, guys. There's so much up in the air right now with Harmony tier. I look at teams like Holy Jalapenos, Minty Hippos still, yes, Minty Hippos, and Illusion. There's opportunities right now to swoop up, start taking a claim at the top. So you still got to be vitamin C to get there, but I think there needs to be some discussion about that right now.
Right.
Look at Smugs calling me out in the chat like that. Wrong, Smugs.
No, he's not.
All right. Any other thoughts on the Harmony tier, folks?
No, I think coming into, as the second half of the season starts here, that 6 through 12 is going to be a jostle, man. It's so congested right there. There's 2 or 3 teams that are, or I'd say 4 teams that are really rising to the top, and that rest is just going to be, it's going to make for some fun podcasts.
I think there's 6 teams that are very clearly in a position right now to be solidly in the playoffs.
Yep.
I think 7 through 12 is a jumbled mess, and I think you need to start talking about teams like Fair Change. Boop, making some changes. Boop, making some huge changes.
Yeah, buddy.
Team just had a dominant win over Spare Change. Not just a win, a dominant win. I'm going to start talking a little bit more favorably about Boop. We memed on them before. No more memeing on Boop, guys. Not going to allow it. So, all right. That's the end of the Harmony tier power rankings, guys. We're going to dive in right now to something I'm really excited to bring you, and that is our mid-season awards.
Yay!
Guys, obviously we tried to have the community vote on this. Unfortunately, some of you suck, and we couldn't do that. So we had to instead bring in a leadership vote. Papa Thug is disappointed. So we're going to go ahead and now reveal our top 5 for each category, for each tier. And we are going to start first in the Harmony tier, and we're going to go through main tank all the way through to flex support, and then we'll bring it back to MVP at the end. We're going to start with main tank here in the Harmony tier. Number 5, Kuchikopi, Undead Battery. 4, Jewish Missile from Illusion. 3 is Stinky Pants from Karma. 2 is Crispy from Maelstrom. And the number 1 best main tank in the Harmony tier, despite only playing 2 weeks, is NPC.
It's a damn popularity contest.
Okay, I saw the results, and I'll tell you, it's not rigged. But what happened was everybody put their actual favorite main tank as number 1, but there were so many different ones. I got like every single vote. I got 90% of the number 2 votes. And that was enough points to put me ahead. But really, there were a lot of votes for Crispy for number 1 best main tank, and he deserves it. I mean, he's fantastic. I've been playing 2 weeks, and I'm a little bit washed up, so I'm okay.
Crispy in chat. I just got beat out by a bald guy that played 2 weeks.
No, he definitely deserves it. But it's popularity contest for sure. Thank you, everybody. You guys, your checks are in the mail.
Nick, you got any takes on this one?
Yeah, how is Crispy not number 1?
No shit.
I mean, I'm happy that Missile got voted in there.
Yeah, for sure.
He's been huge for us, but right now he's on an LOA, so I mean, just the fact that he's an LOA, I would have given that to someone else who's still actively playing right now. But for me, it's just crispy, man. I feel for you, my dude.
Yeah. I the one thing I will say is Yeti from Carol's Pandas was robbed.
Yes.
How is he not on there?
Yeah,
What the
yeah,
hell,
yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
Oh
so,
my god.
all right, next we're moving to the best off tank here, and number 5 is Normac from Vitamin C. 4 is player from Illusion. Number 3, Shadowfang from Boop. I'm okay, guys, I promise. Number 2 is Impers from Undead Battery, and the number 1 best off tank is Illimed from the Comets. That's right, folks. Top 2 or the top tank on both main and off, rated by the captains. The Harmony tier was Gil and NPC on the same team.
They just got forward by DDoS.
Yikes.
So
I was sick.
Specs, what do you have to
Lag.
Yeah, that's it.
I love Gil, great guy. He is not the best off tank in the tier. Impers is absolutely up there. His diva, even though it's not super meta right now, hands down the best in the tier. He's playing a lot of Sigma. He's definitely robbed from it a little bit, and then player from Illusion also just absolutely huge pickup for those guys. And those two I think are the two to really look out for, going forward the rest of the season.
Thug, what do you think?
I love everybody in it. I know Impers is literally dancing in his seat right now, seeing his name on there. Oh, I love you, brother. He does. Shadowfang from Boot. Dude, the kid's nuts. The kid's friggin' nuts. He's a big reason for that turnaround, and he's a big reason for that team sticking together, too. The couple of other names that pop in my head, Mountainfall. Mountainfall is a phenomenal player. I don't know why he's not on here. He's probably somewhere on there. And I'm just going to toot my own horn, toot. Rubik's from DDoS.
Yep.
The kid's pretty nuts, and he's a very flexible tank player. I think his hero pool is really massive, except he hates playing Ryan, which is super strange because everyone loves playing Ryan. Yeah, I think he's missing on there. The kid deserves some love too.
All right, so moving on now to the Harmony tier best projectile DPS. Number 5 is O from the Jetpack Cats. Number 4 is Johnny Robot from the Holy Jalapenos. 3 is Abe from Spare Change. 2 is Ruru, formerly from Maelstrom. And number 1 is Kurt from Illusion.
Yee.
All right.
Yeah.
I would like to hear first and foremost from NPC.
All right. So I got to ask a question though. Is basically projectile DPS anything that's not exactly hit scan? Because I know Abe and Johnny Robot, they're on this list. They're great players, but really they're known for Hanzo and Doomfist respectively. And I don't know if those are considered hit scan, but they're definitely great like off DPS, non-hit scan DPS. So
This is projectile.
Projectile. That's what I meant. So they're definitely projectile. They're not hit scan DPS. So if we're going to count that as projectile, then yeah, they definitely deserve to be on the list. That's not something I would have voted for because I'm a semantics guy and projectile means projectile. But definitely Kurt up there. The Pharah, Rue, same thing. I mean, this list is very, very solid. I can't. I'm thinking maybe Climate from Undead Battery, phenomenal Pharah player. And then if you're going to include everything, you might want to include like Mousy, Junkrat. Where we're looking at Junkrat.
Ripped Dimtree. Dude, she freaking rip-tired him right out of the community.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
Right off of clips. Not even in the same tier.
She solo tired me.
Unlucky,
I wasn't
dude.
having it.
Super unlucky. Dimtree's in chat. Sorry, Dim.
Nick, any thoughts on this
Poor
one?
Dimtree. I'm so happy Kurt got number 1 on that. He's been so huge for us. One player that I think did get robbed, Splinter. Splinter got robbed. I mean, I agree with NPC saying that Mousie's probably top tier Junkrat and Harmony tier, but for me, it's the fact that it's just the Junkrat that kind of edges her off of this list for me, whereas these other players, we've seen them play more than just one specific hero in the projectile category.
I think
Not wrong.
I will say the one. I mean, obviously, I have feelings about Splinter, but that's just bias. The player that I think is most robbed is Climate. Climate is borderline hard carry for the Undead Battery. So good. So He's so young. It's like so young. So good though. All right, moving on now. A hit scan for the Harmony team. Number 5 is Mallard from Holy Jalapenos. Number 4 is Crimson from Dead Battery. 3, Gamstreet from the Fighting Potatoes. 2, Triage from Maelstrom. And number 1 is Landvetter from Karma. Guys, I want to hear from Specs. What do you think about this one? You're the best sniper in Discord tier. We know that.
I mean, naturally. I think I think Land's great on Widow. But I think when I think of hit scan heroes in general, Triage is definitely more versed in those couple heroes there. To me, he's been the one that's really stood out and taken a big leadership role with Maelstrom. And to me, him and Crispy are the two catalysts towards their change. Really excited to see what he does, especially now losing Ruru. He's on the team with us for Chicago, and he's absolutely nutty. So kind of want to see him pick up a little bit of the slack there. But you know, I think Triage is by far and away the best hit scan in the community, in the tier.
What do you think, Thug?
This feels really, really weird, and I'm sure everyone's gonna. I agree with Specs, boys, dude. Triage is. Literally, my entire take was what Spec says. This feels super weird. Like, can we make fun of somebody? Like, anyone? No. Okay.
Did you make fun of anybody on that list? No.
God, no, for real. And Triage has been, and I echo it. Triage has been phenomenal. He is very versed in multiple heroes, and the dude's nuts. And him and Crispy have really pulled Maelstrom / Liquid Nova from the depths of season 2.
We don't talk about Liquid Nova.
No, sorry.
No,
No, we don't.
Sorry.
It's like the L word. We don't use.
I'm out of here.
Yep, down the drain they go.
No, for real. Big on him.
All right. Now I want to look at the best support, and that's going to be number 5 is Crossfade from Maelstrom. Number 4 is Your Teammate from Us. Number 3 is Delivery from the Jetpack Cats. Number 2, Capital from Vitamin C. And number 1 is Cryogenics from Karma. This one's an interesting one. NPC.
Yeah, definitely. Crossfade, amazing. I mean, this is basically, we're seeing Maelstrom coming down the list. The only one that didn't make it was Mountainfall, and definitely an honorable mention that should have been on that list. So, I mean, we're starting to see why Maelstrom's so good, because they've got top tier players in every category. Your Teammate, Delivery. I mean, just fantastic players. Capital and Cryogenics. Cryogenics has just shown up this season. Last 100%. Season, kind of overlooked, right? But this season, really stepping up. I don't know if it's just the tiers are different or getting better as a player, just a better team environment.
Last season in like week 11, I think, is when it was late.
Okay, because it was very late, but I still, I don't, I remember hearing the name, but
he was meh.
Yeah, kind of meh. But I don't know. Like I said, maybe it's a better team to play around, but definitely deserves to be on that list.
What can I say? I think I just bring the best out of people.
Yeah, maybe. Sometimes the worst, but okay.
Yeah, I think for me, Cryogenics being number 1, I don't think there's a question about that. For me, Delivery is great. She's a great support player. I would probably have Crossfade ranked a little bit higher, probably 3rd. For Crossfade to be ranked 5th, that's nuts for me. But Cryogenics being number 1, that's easy decision all day long.
All right, let's move on to the flex or off support and have some interesting results. Number 5, Widow's Too Thick from Boop. Number 4, Cinnamon from the Jetpack Cats. Number 3, Nick's Ready from Didas. Number 2, Guava de Jour from Karma. And number 1 is Sushi from Vitamin C. Interesting list here. Specs, any thoughts?
Yeah. The number 3 right there, Mix Ready. Yikes.
You're going with 3 beers if you're not careful, bro.
Yeah, right. No, on a serious note though, Sushi's been absolutely fantastic both in the game and what he's been doing out of the game with Vitamin C. Absolutely great guy that's really done a lot for the community. And as much as I hate on him, Mix is a decent Lucio. So
Oh wow, that took a lot of you okay.
Wow, are you okay?
Yikers.
You
No.
go wash your mouth out with some whiskey.
Yeah,
sir.
jeez, that felt
Oh,
dirty.
wow.
I feel dirty.
All right. You actually did get the whiskey. Specs. Or not Specs. Thug, what do you think?
Speaking of whiskey, how you feeling there, Yeti? Good.
I'm great.
I love it. Guava. It's a 1A 1B between him and Sushi. It says 2, but Guava's been solid for freaking ever. The dude has just been consistent, and consistency usually gets overlooked because it's boring, and no one likes consistency. Everyone likes when things pop off, but you know shit goes well with that way. I think missing from this tier is anybody from Illusion. Hello, Bueller. The entire support line for Illusion's pretty phenomenal, and it's kind of a travesty that no one's on there. I think
I think
knock
Drugs
off
Not
Cinnamon.
Hugs definitely deserves to be on one.
you knock off Cinnamon on this one, and you drop in Drugs Not Hugs. That's my 2 cents. That's my plat analysis.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to wrap it up here, guys, with the voting. The MVP for Harmony tier, number 5 is Climate from Battery. Number 4 is Johnny Robot from Third is Kurt from Illusion. Number 2 is Sushi from Vitamin C. And number 1 is Cryogenics Arma. Guys, I made the comment at the beginning of this offseason, or the beginning of the season here, how there would never be a support winning the MVP. Yes, that was end of season MVP, but at the top of the midseason, we have 2 supports.
Yeah, I'm glad to see that. I'm really glad to see that. I noticed also that Climate is the only one on the MVP list that didn't make another list.
Weird, right, dude?
Yeah, weird.
Yep.
But definitely love seeing the support. Just, it's not just DPS, but we're also seeing a lot of projectile DPS. There aren't any hit scans here. It's 2 supports and 3 projectiles.
Nick, any thoughts on this one?
I think a lot of us called it at the beginning of the season. Cryogenics was probably going to be one of, if not the top 5 players for MVP here. But I think that just goes to show it. Like we knew going in what kind of caliber player he is, and he really deserves it. But yeah, I mean, no hit scan players is just weird to me. I mean, I guess because double shield's so prevalent in the meta, that hit scan kind of fades off. But
Yep.
It's just weird that there's not even one hit scan player here like Land. Land could have easily been on this list as well.
it's just unfortunately not in the meta right now. Projectile DPS are exactly what you need. Yeah, exactly. So it's rough to see. Trust me, I'd love some nice widow shots here or there, but it's just not in the play right now. So,
Doug, any thoughts?
I echo a lot of you guys say. It's the meta is going to dictate a lot of this stuff for us, and like NPC said, it's like these DPS roles, these tank roles are so fluid and they're so mixed that it's really hard to tell what role they play specifically. But in this meta, man, hit scan, it's like you have a really good widow player, so what? It's good luck, brother. But
Sombra.
yeah, and
Oh,
have more whiskey. It's okay. I love you. I love you. It's okay. It's a hard day for you. I look at Sushi on this list and look at somebody that has played a really great support, is a captain of a team. There's a lot of intangibles there that we probably can't see unless we're on that specific team, but there's a reason team 7-0, and a lot of that falls in leadership. Accountability falls on leadership. And if leadership sucks, teams fall apart. So 7-0 teams usually go look at a leader to be somebody that's very successful.
I think for me, I mean, obviously, I'm incredibly biased towards Cryogenics. I know what he brings to my team. My team would be probably 3-4, 2-5 at best without Cryogenics. That good. Don't normally say that about support players, but he's legitimately that good. But I have to say, I think we're overlooking severely some players right now. I think you have to look at Eddie, those pandas. Have to look at people like him for sure, without question. Honestly, you look like Rigmadon from the Fighting Potato. The only reason, he's one of the main reasons why that team's been relevant. They've struggled in the past, but without Rigmadon, They've been really struggling. No offense to Solitary Bird and Shepvik. They are not the main tank caliber that Rigmadon is. So I look at players like that. I think they're kind of robbed with the perceived value they bring to the team. But then again, who would you take off this list? I don't actually know. So the Harmony tier is an interesting spot, guys. But we're gonna move on now to the Discord tier, starting with main tanks, of course. Main tank. Number 5 is Cream for Renovadio. Number 4, HQC from the Meteors. Number 3 is Rock Jumper from Tough Luck. Number 2, Modern Lion from One Last Night. What? I didn't type that. It's One Last Ride. And number 1 is Sir Andy from Commit. So, guys, Discord tier main tank, apparently One Last Night.
One Last Night, new team.
Yeah,
really looking
night.
Good. Yeah.
OLN, Pog. Sorry about that. All right. I did these. I promise I didn't do these at 2 a.m. It was actually 3 a.m.
Yeah, there you go.
Guys, let's get NPC. What do you think?
All right. So I look at this list, and there was one guy on the Harmony tier best tank list, and that was me. And there's somebody missing from this tank list in the Discord tier. It's Mighty Bear. He's not on the list. Okay?
Oh,
you know what? He's not there. You know why? Because he's bad. I mean, you got HTC, you got Rock Jumper, Lion, Andy. These guys are good guys. Okay?
Oh.
All right. So I like this lineup. I think this is great. There's a lot of good main tanks out there, but this is definitely my top 5 as well.
So NPC, just to clarify, Cryptic told you to go in on him a little bit, right?
Yeah. So he had a stream, and his stream title was "Duos with the Best Iris Podcast Host." And I joined his chat, and I was like, "What? You're not duoing with me?" And he goes, "Oh no, my favorite is Specs because he brings the spice. Cryptic wants the spice. He's getting the spice."
You know what? You are such a great leader. You listen to your community.
Exactly.
You listen to any good business listens to their community. Trust me on this one.
Exactly. This is a
if
business.
there's anything I learned in business management,
business organization management. I'm a master's degree.
Guys, I am. Oh God, somebody's delivering the spice today. Nick, go ahead.
I mean, for me, this list is pretty well rounded out. Maybe HQC a little bit higher, but at the same time, moving down Modern Line and Andy just doesn't feel right to me. But for me, this is probably the one where I don't see any surprise, or where I don't feel any specific player got robbed of a top 5 placement or anything like that. So.
All right, let's move on now to the Discord off tanks. By the way, 93 or 95 viewers currently. Thank you all very much for tuning in. If you're brand new to the community, you can take a look at our community by typing !Discord in the chat. We'd love to have you be a part of the Tranquility community.
Bink.
Moving on is Discord up tier off tank. Best off tank, number 5, Exos from Commit. Number 4, Ghost Pants from the 4. Number 3, Cool Sam from Meteors. Number 2, Tough Luck. And number 1 is My Big Marf from Commit. Guys, obviously there's an elephant in the room with My Big Marf. We're not going to get into that here. It's not a discussion we're going to have. What happened. We're going to move on from it. Obviously there's 2 from Commit here. Obviously because of the change in teams, that's what's going to happen. Again, we're not going to really talk about this one too much. Specs, any thoughts here?
Congratulations,
Oh no! Oh no!
So Marf made this list because of Instalock.
Yeah, it's true. He made this list because of his work with Instalock. Let's not forget that. Thug, any thoughts?
Okay, big rip because you have Marf at number 1 on Commit. Ghost Pants isn't on Alt F4 anymore. So hey, all you off tanks, that top 5 is ready for you, baby.
I'm back, boys.
Can I suggest someone? Booth.
I strike that from the record, please. Can I strike that from the record? No, and that was kind of going. Booth is phenomenal. We were actually talking amongst ourselves during the highlights thing, and dude, Booth is nuts. The kid is insane. But when Marf comes back from his leave of absence, Commit's gonna be even scarier.
I don't know. He seems to be back already. Moving on is now going to the Discord tier projectile DPS. We will go with Lays from Sugar Rush. Number 4 is DC from Renovadio. Number 3, Kaizen from Prodigious. 2 is Frosty. And number 1 is Courage from Meteors. Guys.
Okay. This is huge.
Interesting list here. NPC, what do you think?
I definitely like Courage and Kaizen on this list for sure.
Yep.
But honestly, I mean, Projectile is very, very meta right now. Everybody's playing it, and there's a lot of great players out there. I feel like there's another really good Pharah player that was MVP from last season is not on the list. I forget his name now, but there's some people missing from this list. Definitely. So I don't know. I mean, it's an interesting list for sure. That's what we get for letting just team captains vote. Everybody votes for their own guy.
Way to ruin.
That's why we did ranked choice.
Yeah.
It wasn't just everybody voting for their own guy. I mean,
Yeah. Is Smugs still playing DPS these days? I legitimately don't know. Like, it's a legitimate question.
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is.
Because if he is, I don't know how he's not on the list.
Yeah.
And for
he
me,
actually wasn't put up for a nomination, and Grumpy Pants was put up for nomination.
Okay. I see. I wouldn't put Courage at number 1. He's great. He's an amazing player.
But
I feel like he's maybe been underperforming up to now.
The mix ready.
So
I see.
Yeah, but to have my number 1 just feels a little bit weird. But don't get me wrong, he definitely deserves to be in the top 5. But number 1 is a little bit too high for me.
So we put Frosty first. Great, love it. Great job, guys.
No, any of you saying that freaking Courage isn't number 1 in the Projectile is you're just wrong. You're just freaking wrong. He's the best player in the tier. Moving on now to the Discord tier. Hit scans. Number 5 is J Vice from Meteors. Number 4, Kiris from Otaku. Number 3, Violet from Gamebots. Number 2 is Kuna from Instalock. Number 1 is Guac from Sugar Rush. Now I got to hear first from Specs. Specs, I know you beat Guac once in a 1v1.
Hey, twice. I'm first. Kuna's second. But yeah, no, Kuna's a great player. Transition you over to a new role potentially, so that might change a little bit. But yeah, no, Guac's ridiculous. Their tracking's just insane. Flicks are wild. I think there's a really solid list there, and from 1 to 5, they're all so close together. I don't know where individually everyone would end up, but those are the top 5 in my opinion.
All right, I thought I got to hear from you here.
Guac is nuts. Super nuts. And she's been nuts for so long. And it's one of those players that kind of just slides under the radar because there's so many other things happening above her that it's lost in the shuffle, really. I love her at number 1. Kuna's a thrower. She's a place on Instalock. Or he plays on Instalock, sorry. And I mean, the kid's okay. Violet. Newcomer to the community, really making a name for themselves and representing the aimbots in this entire top 5 thing. It's a great job. I really hope they kind of build around a player like that and develop Violet a little bit. So I'm okay with everything.
All right. Let's not ever see anything like that again. It was purged from the chat. I don't ever want to see that again. If I see it again, I'm just going to flat out ban you. That kind of commentary is not allowed. But one thing, there's things we don't tolerate in the Tranquility community. Comments like that. If I see it again, I will ban you. That is the last time I'm warning you. I am not okay with that. Thank you.
Be better, people. Come on,
guys. You're better than that. You're
better.
Than that. Seriously.
Oh, so
come on, guys. That's so this is not what the Tranquility community is about. Drop your egos. Drop your edginess. Just play Overwatch and have fun. That's so disappointing to see. Honestly, we're gonna. Never mind. We'll deal with that later, guys. Sorry for anybody who was offended by that. That's an inexcusable thing to see in our chats, and we'll be dealing with that after the podcast here, guys. Moving on then to the main supports. We're gonna move to Discord tier main sports. Number 5 is Sidereal from Sugar Rush. Number 4 is Unkempt from One Last Ride. Number 3 is Fluffle Puffs from Otaku. Number 2 is Smirk from Invictus. Number 1 is Zuby from Tough Luck. Guys, Zuby, production bot extraordinaire. Number 1 here. I got to hear first from NPC.
No, I definitely agree here with most of these picks. Fluffle Puffs on Otaku, we really haven't had a chance to see a lot out of season 3 Fluffle Puffs. We've seen, we just name recognition. There's a lot of season 2 hype there. I don't know exactly where that belongs. I think we're forgetting. I'm not quite clear at the moment what the difference is between main support and off support, where we draw the lines there. But I think we're missing like Rady Body from Commit. We're missing Holly from Meteors, right? We're missing some pretty good supports here, and I think we need to see those over someone like Fluffle Puffs, who's great player, but just we've seen 1-2 weeks maybe.
Right.
Yeah, I would easily have Fluffle Puffs off that list. For someone like Pastry, from Aimbots. It's just we haven't seen enough of that top tier performance from Fluffle Puffs. Granted, Aimbots have been struggling as well. And Smirk, he's insane for Invictus. Invictus wouldn't be where they are right now if it wasn't for Smirk. I'm so happy he got voted in.
I will say with the main supports too, I think Fluffle's getting a lot of credit for name. The guy was insane last season, no question about that. But I think that's helping him a lot when he's really, to be real here. Like, so
dude, how does anyone play 2 weeks and make these tier lists? Like, what the heck?
It's how these things go.
Like, really good.
part of it is just popularity. Like, let's be real. Of course, there's going to be a popularity aspect to these things.
He's a big, beautiful, bald man. I can't make.
But at the same time, like, it's just kind of how these things. Moving on, next is number 1 is Flex Support. Number 5 is Ice. Number 4, I Will Deliver from Sugar Rush. Number 3 is Juke from Aimbots. Number 2 is Veets from Tough Luck. And number 1, last but not least, Arise from the Meteors. Kind of curious. I want to hear first from Specs.
Okay, for jumping back to the main supports real quickly.
God, here we go.
Yikes, people.
Here we go. God damn.
Really looking at this list though, the one that really stands out to me is Ice. Ice is a fantastic flex support player who I have been nothing but impressed with his play. Again, another player that's silently carrying his team in fights. We expect that from Veets. We expect that from Arise. With a new guy coming into the community, it's always nice to see, players like that are making an impact, that are contributing to the community, in a good level out of the game as well. To me, he's the one that really stands out.
107 viewers, PogChamp. Moving on, Thug. Let's hear from you here.
Dude, I love this list. I'm going top, and you could argue other people up into it, but looking at this list right now, I have zero complaints.
Yep.
There's not very often where I'm like fully speechless when I don't want to argue with somebody, especially Specs. But good job, guys. Way to pick the best flexes. I'm proud of everybody, dude. And then elaborating a little bit more, Juke is probably one of the more that I would put Juke higher than Veets personally, and I hope Veets doesn't murder me with a gun. But Juke has been a phenomenal player for the Aimbots, and he's done God, everyone on this tier is just phenomenal. Good
also,
job, guys.
No trash.
All right, so moving on then. Finally, last but not least, is your Discord tier MVP at the mid-season point. First is number 5, Sacred Walrus from Midseason. Number 4 is Kaizen from Prodigious. Number 3 is Smirk from Invictus. Number 2 is Courage from the Meteors. And number 1, taking his reign again at the top, Smugs from Tough Luck. Thug, you're calling timeout here.
How drunk is everybody? Like 3 of the 5 aren't on a tier list, but we go.
Well, Smugs wasn't nominated. Got to keep that in mind.
I know, but for real, like when I saw this too and it came out, I was like, what's happening right now?
Yeah.
But I love Smugs. I love the guy to death. He's a top 5 guy all time for me. I don't know if he deserves MVP this season. Not that he's been bad, because I'm not trying to take that line, but I don't know if MVP is the right thing that fits Smugs right now.
I'll throw it. Smugs and Courage have been the two biggest disappointments in the tier this season.
God, Specs, this is why you're on the podcast, brother.
Yeah.
You throw things out. You're not wrong.
First of all,
Definitely not right.
You're not even on their level, Specs, so I think you got to watch it a little bit.
Damn it.
Little plat chat here.
Just freaking plat chat coming in here, guys. No. Specs, any other thoughts other than that?
Love seeing Walrus up there. What he's been doing for us behind the scenes is great. Absolutely insane player that's switched between main and off support for us this season. Love seeing that. And Courage,
Somebody broke Yeti, guys. Real quick chat. You broke Yeti.
That was cool,
Sam.
Sam.
You 100% broke him.
Cool Sam says, Specs, you can't be a disappointment because nobody expects anything from you.
Oh, got him.
not wrong.
He's not
Imagine. Yeah.
I mean, once again, we're seeing like supports
Yep.
and projectiles. We're not really seeing hit scans or tanks.
It's the meta.
Shield meta.
What you have to look at last season too is last season was goats. By the way, rip goats. I miss it so much. But that's what you're getting. You're getting support players. You're getting projectile DPS players. All of a sudden, you don't get pocketed as Ryan anymore, Silent Monkey. That's just not what happens. And you can't just press W into teams.
Hey, you sure about pressing W? But we do that anyway.
No, but I think it's very refreshing to see a community kind of shift focus so hard from one season to another and give other people some light too. So, yeah.
Nick, any thoughts here?
There's a hard contrast to the Harmony tier where the top 2 are actually DPS players, as opposed to supports. As much as I love Smugs, though, I kind of agree with Thug, where I don't know how he can make the top of the list as MVP when he wasn't nominated for any of the categories. That's the only thing that I find a little bit weird for me, but the other thing is just the contrast between the Harmony and the Discord tier, where we're seeing the MVPs being actual DPS players this time.
All right. Moving on. Now, David, why'd you have to message me then? Moving on then, guys, that's the end of the mid-season awards. Congratulations to all the award winners. Again, we will be revisiting the awards at the end of season, a slightly different format for that, but we will get to that at the end of the season, guys, and looking forward to seeing what the results are for that. By the way, people ask me too, is there an All-Stars thing? Yes, there will be an All-Stars game, just like last season. We'll be talking about that a little closer to the season's end, though. Stay tuned. Cav is going to be handling that. He will announce that when the time comes. All-Star is truly one of my favorite things we do in this community.
Same, dude. It's fun.
So much fun.
Yeah. Go watch the video on the YouTube channel.
Oh, it's such
It's casting. It's hilarious.
It's the best. It's me and Thug. I mean, that tells you how good it is.
Teabagging is allowed. So
yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Capital, watch out, Capital.
Yeah,
You're a brother.
Here we go. All right, moving on then. Finally, guys, we're going to go to the comms video. Take a little comms check into week 7 action.
3, Nick was wrong. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Nick was wrong.
That was
Nick was
pathetic.
wrong.
Hey, who's Nick?
Seriously.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wait, I can't. I'm just getting choked into this.
We're doing this. Let's go.
Let's
3, 2, 1. Fighting!
Woo! No, we go fighting. A taco. Okay. A taco? A taco! Like El Taco, like the team, you know?
Sigma's on the other side of this wall. Sigma's dead.
Fara.
I'm gonna sig out here.
Touch. Someone touch.
We touch.
I'm on Mara.
Monkey low.
Puncher.
Monkey dead.
Monkey's gone. May. She's off.
I booped her.
She can't touch. You got her.
Nice.
Keep it up.
All night. Let's go.
How do you do the heart?
The heart? All 3.
All 3?
It just hit Alt F4. Oh, okay.
All and then 3 on the number pad, and it's
No! Oh my
God.
Did you actually? Okay, well, I actually fell for it, alright, dude.
Yeah, big winnable. Big winnable.
Big. Get that Ryan on point. Ryan.
Ryan's half. I'm freezing him.
Sing next.
No, never mind.
Nice job.
Real time.
Great job, guys. I was watching a slideshow of that fight, and it looked real nice.
Dude, stop screaming if you have to.
I know, go behind.
Sigma on point.
I got the Sigma!
Nice job, Seth. I'll go for Widow.
We got this.
Yeah.
Get on point.
Guys,
Nice.
we're good here.
5K, big.
So what's up? Nope.
It's fine.
I'm just gonna go.
Go right side. Right side of build.
Right side, strong side.
Alright, let's go!
And then the May went the wrong way.
Big oof.
Yeah, fuck the right side.
Well.
Huge.
Huge. Let's go.
Let's go! Let's go! You listen!
Nice.
Let's fucking go!
Longest fight ever, man.
I literally laughed out loud. When you
I was like, kill fucking Lucio!
Rip headphones users. Congratulations to Boop again on the first win. That was the map ceiling point there, the match ceiling point there for Boop. So congratulations there to Boop again on your first victory. We do have a couple quick reminders before we get into the predictions here. First and foremost, the head count is being gathered for the meetup.
What's that mean, Yeti? What's that mean?
Well, the head count is the International Meetup Day is on October 19th. We have multiple meetup locations that have been committed to. The list is Minneapolis, Chicago, DC, Kansas City. There's one in Cincinnati, Toronto, Dallas, and SoCal. Guys, if you are interested in any of those and you haven't acknowledged it, scroll up a little bit in announcements and click the reaction to which one you're going to. We need to get a head count on this soon. By the way, there's swag here.
Oh, baby.
Oh,
swag
yeah.
Swag is legit.
Oh, yeah.
I wish I had something to show you.
Thug, move your head.
No, the other way. The Alta 4 sticker. There it is.
The poster there too.
Yeah, I've got a poster. Right
It's
there.
all swag from
My
last.
poster is misplaced. Guys,
Yeah.
there's some sweet swag you can get from just going to these Tranquility community events. Some giant stickers, some huge posters. Kaz actually revealed some of the art he's putting forward for this.
Oh, yeah.
And
Huge.
it's kind of amazing. Not going to lie, if you want to get some of that swag, you gotta show up to the meetups. So again, if you're interested, please check on that reaction roll and say you'll be there. Thank you.
You know, I know we're all shut-ins to a degree because we all play Overwatch competitively in a league community. God, I'm losing my mind. But trust me, they are so much fun. 9Volt from that plays on Eclipse right now actually met us at the last Tranquility meetup in Minneapolis.
Mhm.
He overheard us talking about somebody move the payload, and he's like, "Oh, what are you guys talking about?" And he kind of went into it a little bit, and now he plays on Eclipse. So, legitimately, you're gonna meet people that know what you're talking about. It's such a fun time. It's really great to put faces and bodies to people and just have a lot of camaraderie. It's a great time. If you're hesitant on it, make the commitment, do it.
It's the weekend after Overwatch comes out on the Switch, so everybody just bring your Switch and have a mini.
Yeah, nice.
Seriously, guys,
Or-
it's the meetup is legitimately one of the funnest things I did last season. I can't stress it enough. If you can show up to these things, make it happen. It's so much fun just to put some faces to names. It's an absolute blast. I highly recommend it. The next thing is the 3v3 tournament. That is Thursday, guys. Be there. It's gonna be good. Now, finally, is the predictions segment that we all know and love. We're going to be kind of speeding through these because my graphics program completely shit itself, and now we have to do these all verbally. So we're going to go just a couple people for each match. We're going to go first, Insalok and Otaku, NPC.
Well, I don't even know if this match is actually going to get played or not. There's been some back and forth on if they're going to make it, if they're not going to make it. I originally had Otaku, but you know what? They can't field the roster. Instalok can't field their roster either. it's up in the air.
It's the battle of the ringers.
Inslot can field their roster. They just don't have 6 people.
Hey, we have a ringer.
Yep.
They
And
have a
so
ringer.
does
Okay, well,
Otaku. It sounds like it's
so
gonna
does
happen.
Otaku.
It's gonna happen. There's just gonna be ringers.
It's gonna be a match of pugs, and I might switch my vote to Instalock here, just because they have one less ringer.
It may or may not be Abe as well. So.
Oh well, leaks.
Alcohol.
It's not changing my vote.
All right, and then Nick, I want to hear from you too.
I had originally put Insalok 3-1. I'm not sure if this was before or after. I saw the situation with Marf. Not gonna lie, my weekend was a little bit of a haze.
Lucky.
You'd think, but it was the nastiest of hangovers on Sunday morning.
Oh, brother.
Jealous.
Yeah. I put Insalok 3-1. I'm not gonna yo-yo now. Insalok 3-1.
All right, moving on to the next one is Aimbots and Renovadio specs first.
Yeah, I have Renovadio here. Again, a team that's silently kind of flown under the radar a little bit. Again, not the strongest of schedule so far this season. They really have to prove themselves, and I think this is the first step to doing so. Also, it's just going to be a little bit of time for Aimbots to get their cohesion together. But again, I think this is going to be a pretty solid match to watch.
All right. Next. Doug.
I also took Renovadio on this one. Aimbots it's too much of a question mark for me right now. I have to take the team that's played together longer. That's just point blank period. It's going to be hard. They just picked up a new main tank. Savage just stepped down. Jet coming in. It's going to take a little bit of time for them to kind of rebuild that cohesion. So I take Renovadio.
All right. NPC, I want to hear from you on Infius Gaming and Commit.
I have Commit. I have Commit winning this one. Nothing against Infius. Infius has been done. They made a lot of strides. They've started making a name for themselves. But right now, going up against the number one team, I can't bring myself to bet against them. I can't bring myself to bet against Commit.
Nick, what do you think?
Commit. Commit wins this one. I mean, they've just been dominant in game after game after game. Commit.
Is Commit one of those teams you just pick until proven otherwise?
Hard not to.
Right.
with the way they've been performing, yeah.
It's hard, man.
Commit, angry face. Tough Luck versus Meteors. Big matchup there. Specs first, go.
Yeah, this is a big matchup, but I have Meteors taking over Tough Luck. Tough Luck's going through some changes right now. I think they're going to just kind of skate by for this match and then look forward to their bye week next week to really get their things together. But I have Meteors taking this one.
All right. Bug, let's hear from you next.
Specs,
wait, did I?
Yeah, you definitely did.
Oh.
Specs, or Thug, let's clean it up here and go to the next guy.
I also have Meteors in them for the same reasons you said. Spec, like, what's going on with the Specs? Are we doing mind melding right now? Like, are we trying to get on the same level?
We might have to.
God,
oh my goodness, brother!
Specs without Twitter.
Oh brother! Oh brother! Watch out! You get old man Specs essentially. Yeah, I take Meteors for all the same reasons Specs said too. There's some turbulence, if that's the right word, and Tough Luck, and things are going to have to right themselves. But yeah, I take Meteors in this one.
All right, next, Sugar Rush versus Invictus Specs.
Yeah, I have Sugar Rush taking this. I think Invictus had some pretty big pickups here this week, but again, it just comes back to gelling and really playing together as a team. It's also just very, very hard to carry melts. So,
Nick, go.
Got him.
Invictus 3-2. The team's working hard to get that cohesion going right now. I think Melts is fitting in pretty well, despite only getting in a couple scrims so far. Falcon, I think Falcon's going to be the deciding factor for Invictus, though. The combo of Falcon and Booth is just going to be really strong for them.
Prodigious versus Eclipse NPC.
I have Prodigious winning this over Eclipse, and do you guys want to know why? It's because we've actually proven that It has nothing to do with fighting hair.
Two debates in one podcast. My goodness, brother.
We're giving everybody whiplash here, guys. They gotta be
we've proven it with the MVP selections that it's all about the projectile players. It's all about the projectile players and the supports. And when I look at what they've got on Eclipse versus what they've got on Prodigious, I'm giving it to Prodigious every time. The Pharah play is just insane over there. And I think that's what's going to actually make the difference. It has nothing to do with Cryptic Force. My beef with him is over. That was kind of a joke. It's not a big deal. But I definitely have Prodigious winning this one.
All right, moving on then. Thug, what do you think?
I also have Prodigious in this one. Prodigious. Wow. You know, it's hard to say that word when you have whiskey. A lot of the same reasons, man. There's a lot of Harmony tier teams that could beat Eclipse right now. So, yikes. Dimtree and losing Dim, man. At Dimtree in the chat, boys. At Dimtree in the chat. It's actually Dimtree M. But it's tough. Sorry, Dimtree. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. Rip Dimtree in the chat, boys. The Prodigious is I see this one going 3-2. Even it's going to be close. Cryptic, I think, is going to be a little bit fueled after Yeti fueled that fire and basically lit him on fire.
You mean NPC?
Yeti. Yeti, you need
I don't
to
know
watch
about you,
it.
but I don't say anything mean about people. Otherwise, my Twitter explodes. So, last one, not least here, Harmony and Chaos versus Alt F4 NPC.
I'm thinking Harmony and Chaos here. I'm thinking Harmony and Chaos. This is their opportunity to not be winless, and I think they're going to take it. This is their legitimate win that they can take. Alt F4, they're actually a pretty strong team. Watching that VOD, it had very little to do with any problems with Eclipse, but Alt F4 is coming together, and they're playing through their losses, and they're getting better as a team. But Harmony and Chaos, I feel like this is their chance, and they're going to take it because otherwise they're going to be Eclipse tier. So I don't want that.
Is it like a Mendoza line in baseball?
Jesus.
Exactly.
God, we're talking about boomer sports over here, bro.
Harmony tier time. It's Careless Pandas versus Karma Specs.
Yeah, so originally I had Careless Pandas taking this, and then, really thought it over and, really did some thinking about this one. Then I realized, Cryogenics carries Yeti, and it's going to continue this week. So gonna go with Karma here.
Cryogenics does carry Yeti, but Thug, go.
It's my first week back. Please don't kick me off the podcast, Yeti. I'm going with Pandas. I think this is a win one for the Gipper moment. I see Pandas banding together, winning one from Dim Ryan, and part of me thinks Karma is going to take a step back to oh, Dim's gone, we'll be fine. I see Pandas taking this one with the upset.
See Thug's been replaced. Take a look at the stream, everyone.
Yep, I see that right now. Well, see you guys. It's been nice. It's been real nice.
I'd rather have another Nick. Because at least Nick says nice things about my team. Anyways, Maelstrom and Jetpack Cats, NPC, go.
Oh, this one's easy for me. It's a Maelstrom all the way. I love the Cats. I really do. But their roster's making some changes. They're still adapting to that. And Maelstrom is just as strong as ever. I don't know what else to say other than that. Maelstrom's going to win.
Nick, what do you think?
Maelstrom's going to win this one. I think Jetpack Cats have been having some roster issues. Still are. But I think Maelstrom, just the consistency, even with losing Ruru, I don't think that's going to affect them in this coming match.
Pacified Pythons taking on Fighting Potatoes. Specs, what do you think?
Yeah, so I think Fighting Potatoes take this one. I would not be super surprised if Pythons come back and this is their week to kind of show what they're doing. I think it's really important that they come together, and I think it's something they can do here.
You okay?
Yeah, having such a hard time with words right now.
It's too much sadness whiskey.
Yeah, it must be too much.
That's it.
Too much sadness whiskey.
Thug, what do you think?
I also have Potatoes in this one. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if Pythons take this. Fighting Potatoes will be back at full strength. Coming off of a loss against Vitamin C, I'm sure they're going to be anxious to do that, to take that W. So I'm going to go Potatoes 4-0.
Big 4-0.
Clip it.
All right. Spare Change taking out Illusion. NPC, let's go to you first.
I think Spare Change, they came off that loss, and I think they're going to be hungry. I think they're gonna retool some of their kids. They're gonna practice hard. They're gonna come in hard, but I don't see them taking out Illusion. Illusion are a pretty strong team. Just they've been a stable, steady, above average team. Maybe not the best, but definitely above average. And I feel like teams that are still finding their footing, and sometimes some weeks they do well, some weeks they don't, they're gonna fall to a team like Illusion that are pretty consistently above average.
Thug, what do you think about this one?
I'm sorry, what were we talking about again?
We're talking about
Spare Change,
Spare Change, and Illusion.
I'm taking Illusion in this one. Point blank, they're just a better team. Spare Change is building, but Illusion's just straight up the better team.
And I know people on Spare Change have said, hey, respect what we're doing to the team. I want to respect what you're doing to the team. You've made a lot of changes, but you also just lost to Boop 4-0. With all due respect, I want to talk about you more, but give me a reason to do that. Like, I like you guys. You've given me no reason to dislike you. It's not personal. And I want to compliment the steps you're making, but you just lost badly to win this team. Again, I love you guys. I love Abe. Truly a great guy. And everybody else in that team, you're doing work. But guys, we will talk about you a lot more.
It's all about consistent performance. Some days you're great. Some days not
you're
so
doing
much.
a lot of good things, and we see that, and we point that out. But we will talk about you more when we see that continue to happen. So right now, unfortunately, you're going to get picked against. And
listen, the only people we dislike in this entire community is Specs. Literally the only person. So know that. We don't not like you. We just don't like Specs.
Yeah, it's true. Literally the only person is Specs. Yeah, this is why he was going to leave the podcast until Thug just talked him into it just a minute ago. And it was just purely, completely unplanned and definitely not a debate. Next is Vitamin C and DDoS. Specs, let's hear from you first.
Yeah, I think it's just very hard to pick against Vitamin C right now. Just a team that's looking very, very solid. I think DDoS, they're making the right steps they need to make. Playing with Rubix, who's on the Chicago team with us, like Thug was saying, very flexible tank player. I think he's going to be a key to their success if they do end up taking a map or two here. I just don't know if they can really take it at the end of the day.
All right. Moving on then. Next one. Oh, sorry, Ensol. Go ahead, Nick.
I agree with Specs. Vitamin C is going to take this one. They're down capital for reasons we won't discuss on the podcast. Everyone knows why. Everyone saw it. Don't do that in games, people.
Don't do that.
Even without capital, Vitamin C is just very dominant right now in the Harmony tier. I don't see them losing to DDoS now or anytime soon, the way that DDoS is playing right now.
In case anyone wants to know, I did have DDoS winning this one because the accusations of being a biased podcast have come out. So might as well just make it a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Correct. Exactly. It's
self-fulfilling prophecy.
Just
DDoS is going to beat Vitamin C.
It's not a question of bias. We all know we're biased, which is why none of us talk about our teams during predictions. Reason for that. 100% bias. Carbon's the best team in Harmony tier. Nobody else even touches it, and Capital's a douchebag. Boom. I'm just kidding. Capital's great. Love him.
Wow.
Moving on. Undead Batteries versus Comets. Specs, go ahead.
It was Comets and who?
Undead Batteries.
Undead Batteries.
Well, that's a great question. That's something that I really need to think about. I have Batteries over Comets. I think what Impers is doing with his team is fantastic, and like we were saying with him, with Klimbit, with the overall amount of skill they have there, I think it's important that they start to pick up wins with teams that I would say are around them in a power rankings perspective. It's also very, very easy to exploit their main tank, so definitely have to go with Undead Battery there.
All right.
Yeah, just unbind your shift key, NPC. You guys should be good after that. I think Undead Batteries take it. Impers has really got something going right now with that team. They're really strong. I see it being close, 3-1 to close 3-1. Yes, Thug.
Talk about the greatest anime betrayal of all time. We're picking Undead Battery, a team that NPC resurrected, is beating his current team. Talk about overrun tranquility community is the anime.
Okay,
How is this not, dude?
Hold on a second. So there's a little bit more drama if you want to know to this match. Okay, so first of all, I've told Undead Battery that they can teabag me and only me, not the rest of my team. And if it gets out of hand, I'll tell them to stop. But as long as it's friendly and it's fun, they can do it. And also, Climate and I have arranged basically a reverse ice bucket challenge. So the winner of this team, the winner of the match, has to do the ice bucket challenge. And I did the reverse because everybody wants to see me do it. That's the thing. Undead Battery wants to see me do it.
For sure.
Right? I mean, if they want to see me do it, they're going to throw the game. And the Comets want to see me do it. So they're going to try real hard. Nobody wants to see Climate do it. They want to see me do it. So if you want to see me do the ice bucket challenge on like a halftime show, or we'll play the video here on the podcast or something, then the Comets have to win.
All right. I haven't weighed in on any of these matches, but I'm going to weigh in right now. Hold on.
Oh no, he's going to dab on somebody. Shit.
Undead Battery 4-0, Comets ain't shit. All right, moving on then. No, I'm not dabbing. I only dab on one person a podcast. That's it. It's actually my rule. Only one dab per podcast. All right, moving on then is Minty Hippos versus Holy Jalapenos. NPC, I'd like to hear from you first.
My heart's so broken though. It's okay. Those batteries are doing some good work over there. Minty Hippos, I have them winning here. It's really tough. This may be the Harmony tier match to watch. I mean, Minty Hippos and Holy Jalapenos are kind of very even as far as like the power rankings, you know, as far as I feel like their team's capabilities. But I think Minty Hippos are going to squeak it out. It's going to be close. It's going to be a great game. But I went with Hippos.
Thug, it's a big feature match. What do you think?
Consider me the yin to his yang. I have it 3-2 going to my boys at the Jalapenos.
Okay.
It's going to be a close one. I'm really excited to watch this match. There's a lot of parity between these two teams, and it's two teams on the rise and two teams really looking to solidify themselves out of that. Like we talked about earlier, that top six, really looking to solidify themselves in that top six. And the winner of this one absolutely does that. Jalapenos.
It's gonna be an exciting feature match, guys. I'm really looking forward to seeing these two teams go at it. That being said, that is the end of our podcast today. It was a longer podcast. It's an exciting one, talking about these mid-season awards. If you want to talk about anything else or want to bring back any feedback, feel free to bring it to us in the podcast discussion channel in the Discord. Otherwise, that being said, we are out. Really quick though, again, reminder on the features. We do have the feature matches here. Instalock Otaku potentially taking place tomorrow at 8:30 Eastern time, and then the next one is Sunday 9/22 at 8:30 Eastern time. Guys, if you want to take a look, please enjoy those matches. They're going to be a lot of fun. And finally, last but not least, Meteors versus One Last Ride. That will be airing tomorrow after the feature match. Please watch that. Again, one of the best matches of Overwatch I've seen all in the history of Tranquility. So please watch that match. All right, for NPC, Specs, Doug, Nick, E3E8. See you guys next week. Thanks for watching.
Experience tranquility.